from the UCLA game? What stood out about your defense's effort?
I thought they played hard in the entire game. I thought the communication, just overall execution was good, and then I thought just situational ball. I thought they did a good job with that.
Coach, you used Sam Greine as a spy on that last play. Looked like he played that role perfectly. Just going forward, what can we expect from him? It seems like he's growing every day.
Yeah, he's a guy, the more he plays, the better he gets, and the more confident he gets, and the more confident we get in him, allowing him to do more. He's a guy that can do some stuff off the ball. He can do some stuff in coverage. He can do some stuff off the edge. So each week it'll be a little bit different, but he's a guy that, we definitely feel like we can move around and we can put him in different spots.
When you say that, do you envision him staying an edge rusher, or could he maybe move around and change positions?
I think his primarily spot will be on the edge, but I do think he can do some stuff inside on guards. I think he can do some stuff off the ball, and I think he can do some stuff in dropping as well.
When you have those extra practices with the bowl, how creative can you get with guys like Sam, Cam Fountain, young guys who, you haven't necessarily put everything on their plate yet?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do it this week, but after this game, I think you can get pretty creative, especially, you have all that time before your opponent. So you're preparing for the opponent, but you're also, trying to get your team better as well. So I think that's when you start putting guys at different spots. You start experimenting, and then the guys, I think you start seeing them grow more and more within the scheme.
Christian Pierce is somebody who's really done well for you guys on special teams, 4 times there. A lot of times the progression is naturally to be a starter, potentially. Where do you envision him, going into next year?
I think he's going to be in a really good position to compete for a significant role. 2 things he can do: he can run and he can hit, and that's why he's very good on teams. And a lot of times, like you said, that stuff translates to defense. So his development on defense, he's gotten a lot better. He just has some older guys ahead of him now, but I think he's going to be in a great situation where he'll be able to compete for a good amount of playing time.
At what point, since you've been here, did you decide that Jaylen Smith is a cornerback and that's where he should be pretty much all the time?
Maybe like my second day here. I saw him in practice and I thought, man, he's very athletic. He's one of the best DBs. But just looking at the corners and then looking at him move, I'm like, I think his natural position might be on the outside. So we moved him to corner in spring, and the first practice he just looked like a natural out there, and then he got hurt. So we didn't get a chance to see him all spring. So then when he came back in camp after a week, it was obvious, he's our guy out there.
Is there any part of his game that's kind of surprised you where you didn't think he had that in him? It's like, whoa.
His physicality. Now, you ask everyone else, it didn't surprise them, but for me, just not knowing him in the past, he tackles way better than I thought he would.
Congrats on making the final list for the Broyles Award. What does that mean to you?
Thank you. It's a big-time honor, but I think it's more a reflection of the staff and then defense. It's a group effort, and it just shows all the work that really the players have been putting in.
What does Leonard do with his legs that make him difficult to slow down?
He's very, very fast, and he's so tall and long that he doesn't look that fast on tape. But, he covers a lot of ground, so just containing him, especially on third downs, is going to be critical.
Seems like you guys have played fewer dual threat quarterbacks like him this season than maybe in the Pac-12 last year.
We've played quarterbacks that scramble around and extend plays, but we haven't played quarterbacks that have as much like design runs as well. Especially when they get in the red zone. It's really all about him. So it's going to be a little bit different, but our guys are excited about the challenge.
In what ways has this run defense improved to maybe lend itself better to stopping a run game like that?
Consistency. I think we've shown that we can be a good run defense. I think we've shown we can stop just about anybody, but doing it one play doesn't mean anything. You have to do it consistently. So I just think, can we put together a consistent game?
Signing day is coming up in a week.
Yeah.
And I know you can't talk about individual players, but what are you looking for specifically in your defensive backs?
Tough, smart, instinctive players who love ball. I think tough just on the field and off the field, being mentally tough. We like smart guys. That's why we like versatility as far as guys that can play multiple spots. And then just guys who love ball. Like when you leave here, are you a guy that, do you care about ball? Are you talking about ball at home?
How much of your evaluations involve the personalities of these guys?
A lot of it. I think the person is just as important, if not more, than the player. Athletic traits are one thing, but the person is what takes it to the next level, in my opinion.
You've been a part of the USC-UCLA rivalry from both sides now. What does the Notre Dame USC rivalry mean to you? If I was to ask you that question.
You know, I'm excited about my first time, you know, being a part of it. You can just feel the significance of the game, you know, from the very first in practice. You know, this week just felt a little bit different, so I'm excited for it.
Outside of Riley Leonard, who else pops off the film for you on the offense?
They're very talented. Their offensive line is probably going to be the best offensive line we've played all year. And both their backs are very good backs. They have big tight ends. They have speed on the outside. So I think overall this is going to be the best offense that we've played.
Let's do one more.
What are your plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to go practice in the morning, spend some time game planning, and then go see my kiddos in the evening.
A little turkey in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.